So, Ron here in cold Boston, and I'm going to talk to you today about something very, very important to me that I realized not a lot of people know about. And it's not knowing that you don't know something, okay? And what's crazy is a lot of people don't know that they don't know something. Every day I don't know that I know something. Whether it's finances, whether it's dating, whether it's social, whether it's anything, making friends, how to, do a job interview. We all think that we have a grip of what's going on, but in reality, we're so far away from that truth, right? A great example of it is hanging out with only your friends, okay? Jim Rohn, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. It's very true. And if we're hanging around with the same people every day, we're going to be doing the same things. We're going to be talking the same way. You're going to be taking those same habits that you share with those other people, and it's going to just be you, who you are. A great example of this is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett talks about how the habits of the chains of habit are too light to be felt and too heavy to be broken, right? You don't know that you're in a habit, that you're doing the same thing over and over again until it's too late. And this is the same thing with hanging around with the same friends and doing the same things every day. You don't know you are a certain way until you leave that, right? Like a lot of kids, they're in high school, they don't know how their high school friends were until they left high school, went to college, and came back for a vacation or something. You don't know who you are until you leave. So this is why it's important that you read and you hang out with different people and you go to different events so you can see what you don't know, okay? If you're reading different books, you read a book about money, you'll learn, holy shit, my whole life I thought I knew that, I wasn't that big of a spender, I wasn't that bad with money, until you do the math out and realize you spend half of your income on food. You won't know that you're pretty bad with relationships until you meet a buddy who's actually in a good relationship and you're looking at yours and you're thinking, my girl or my boyfriend, etc., whoever your partner is, never does that for me. And that contrast right there is what helps you realize you don't know, okay? It's the same thing with anything else. You don't know that, for example, a good example would be a job, right? You're making $14 an hour at a consulting firm or something like that, right? You won't know that you're not making, $18 an hour, $20 an hour like the other people are making, because if you're hanging out with those same people, you're not going to understand that, you're not going to be aware of that. So it's like you need to remove that ignorance. Like Charlie Munger says, you want to be in a race of removing ignorance. Every day you are 1 inch forward of removing ignorance from your brain, okay? And what's the best way to do that? 3 ways. Reading, hanging out with different people, and a mentor, okay? If you're not reading every day, you're in trouble, okay? You don't have to read every day, that's a little bit extreme, but you do want to make sure that you're reading at least some type of new knowledge every day. Every day you want to be in a rush to realize what you don't know. A good example would be, a lot of guys are sensitive, for example, with sex. Every guy thinks they're good with sex, but when you actually do the surveys and read books about women and read books about sexual experiences, a lot of women have never had an orgasm before, okay? What's the correlation here? A lot of guys don't want to admit to themselves that they don't know. They're afraid to realize that they don't know about something, so they block themselves from it. You don't want to be that guy. If you want to have a good relationship, you want to make sure that you know about sex. A lot of things is money too. A lot of marriages, actually, if you do the research, don't stick together because of financial problems, okay? And a lot of people ignore their financial hardships and ignore their financial knowledge of just getting new understanding with finances. And a lot of relationships fail because of that. A lot of people don't know about that, okay? There's a lot of things that you don't know, and, like they all say, what you don't know can hurt you, and in fact, leave you in a place you don't want to be. So, my big thing is, like Socrates, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know about something. And the quickest way to move forward is to actually be humble, admit to yourself you don't know, and try to understand as much as possible, okay? And that could be around hanging out with different people, getting away from your friends every now and then and hanging out with other people to see what you don't know, just like those habits. Read a lot of books so you can get the knowledge from people who are better than you, higher than you, of what you don't know. Get different coaches, get different mentors, and figure out what you don't know from them. That way they can show you the way, and etc. Just from there, just become a knowledge machine, become a learning machine, okay? Like Richard Dawkins says, It's not the people who are the strongest or the people who are the smartest, it's the people who are the most adaptable, right? And becoming adaptable is simulation, right? Being able to predict the future as accurately as you can. And the best way to do that is from outside knowledge. Because like you weren't born into this world. You weren't born learning how to walk on your own. You had someone show you the way, right? Someone who's been here before. So the best way to do that, hang out with different people, read some books and get some new mentors. And hopefully from there, try to remove the ignorance from your brain and find out what you don't know.